Hello friends, welcome to our economic current affairs session for July 22nd, and in this session we will focus on an article that appeared both in the Hindu newspaper as well as in the Business Line newspaper, and this news is about the WTO negotiations. Okay, India stand on different WTO issues. Okay, so this article covers basically three important issues. The first one is the agreement on agriculture. Okay, so that is one of the four important agreements of the WTO, and that contains rules and regulations for agricultural trade. Okay, the second one is the ongoing discussions on ending or phasing out fishery subsidies. Okay, that is the second one. The introductory part gives an exclusive coverage on that, and secondly and thirdly, there is the discussion going on e-commerce. Okay, so these are the three topics, first, second, and three topics. But before going into the details of this article, we should have some basics. Now we are coming to the first topic, that is fishery subsidies. And what is the issue? It is the problem of overfishing out because of higher subsidies given by some countries, and India has a strong position on that, and we are coming to see what is the real issue. There is high level of fishery subsidies, and that created distortions in global fish markets. Okay, and they are a major factor contributing to overfishing and overcapacity and depletion of fishes, okay, or fish resources. So this is a major problem at present, because some countries, especially countries like China, they are giving a lot of subsidies to their fishermen, and these fishermen are engaging in what we can say outer seas and exploiting the fisheries resources, and this is a major environmental as well as economic problem. So that is the fact behind this fishery subsidy issues under WTO. And high catching is reducing the availability of fish stocks, and hence it has to be stopped. That is the and nearly 35 billion public subsidies were given for global fisheries in 2018, and of this 22 billion, okay, 22 out of 35 were classed as harmful because they increased fishing capacity largely through fuel tax exemptions. Okay, the Chinese government have given a lot of fuel tax exemptions to fisheries people. Okay, and they have done fisheries in distant seas, etc., that cause depletion of resources. The catch revenues from Chinese and Taiwanese flag vessels are not high enough to cover operating costs. Therefore, it seems these vessels would not be able to continue fishing without subsidies. So that is a real problem. Okay, we know which is the country that is creating this excess fishing and overcapacity as well as depletion of resources. Okay, and what is WTO stand? The WTO MC Ministerial Conference at Buenos Aires, that is the 11th Ministerial Conference, has considered unlimited fishery subsidies problem, and this unlimited subsidy problem, we are calling it as illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing, IUU. Okay, that's the concept or terminology we have to understand whenever we are going through this particular topic. Okay, from the examination point of view, from both the prelim and main point of view, this will be a topic. Subsidies by several nations led by China caused IUU. Okay, such subsidies caused exploitation of the fisheries resources and their depletion, besides distorting international trade in fisheries. China is the largest catcher and exporter. Okay, so such explanations are given. I am providing this note. You can get it from the IndianEconomy.net website downloads link. Okay, so you can get there. And what is India's stand? India's stand on fishery subsidies. India supports to eliminate IUU and to protect fishery resources, but this should be done by protecting poor fishermen in developing countries like India, because there are subsistence fishermen. Okay, here who are getting what we can say there, for whom the fisheries is a livelihood opportunity, they are getting just a marginal income, so they should be protected. That is India's stand. So the country demands special and differential treatment. So what is special and differential treatment? If you are a beginner or you don't have some basic background, basics in this particular topic, SDG is a special provision with the WTO that gives concession to the developing countries. Okay, developing countries under special and differential treatment box. Okay, developing countries, and the special and differential treatment box is the agriculture. There are other special and differential treatment measures which gives concession to developing countries so that they can reduce tariff at a lower rate. Okay, they should reduce tariff, but at a lower rate. Okay, similarly, their commitment, they will get a much bigger timeline. Okay, so there are different types of special and differential treatment regarding different agreements of the WTO. So we are not covering such issues for the timing. You just understand that there is a particular provision for developing countries which is called special and differential treatment. Okay, India also getting special and differential treatment. And what is India's demand regarding special and differential treatment with respect to this fisheries issue? India says that special and differential treatment should be given to Indian fishermen because they are low income people. India did not promise any commitment on fishery subsidies given the sensitiveness of the sector. Okay, at the end of the Buenos Aires meeting, countries decide to take the discussion in the coming MC. That is the usual thing you can see always in the ministerial conference of the WTO. They extend always a discussion issue to the next round because of the continuing conflict of interest among the among countries, both developed and developing. So this same thing has happened in the Buenos Aires ministerial conference as well. Members agreed to a work program that finalizes the fishery subsidies agreement by in 2019. Okay, that has not been happened, because the next ministerial conference is yet to be happened. And what is work program? Work program is an agenda of the WTO regarding liberalization or any other trade matters, because some sort of a semi agreement or temporary agreement may be there. That agreement may be clubbed under work program. So WTO has work program on several issues, including what we can say e-commerce, fishery subsidies, etc. We call it as work program, and it contains what we can say the existing agreements, etc. Now, what is subsistence farmers and what is demand for special and differential treatment by from the Indian side? Along with several other developing countries, India like to protect subsidies for low income, resource poor fishermen. And this is a terminology you have to keep it in mind whenever writing a mains examination. So technically these fishermen as well as agriculture people, they are called as low income and resource poor people. Okay, that is a terminology provided by the WTO. So we can use that as well as we should understand. And low income and resource poor fishermen, WTO permits some sort of a concession to low income resource poor people, especially in the agriculture sector. Okay, agriculture sector. Okay, and same provision should be given to fishermen as well, because they are low income and resource poor, for whom fishing is a livelihood issue. That is Indian demand. Okay, I think that you got the idea there. Livelihood issue in India, the coastal states of Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Kerala, large number of fishermen depends upon fishing and their livelihood. Okay, and another important demand from the Indian side is that we demand a right for all fishermen. Remember, a right for all fishermen, allowing them to fish till the exclusive economic zone, which is 200 nautical miles from the coast. That is our major demand. Okay, this is very objective assessment, objective demand. Limit is there, 200 nautical miles from the coast, so that should be given exclusive right. In March 2020, India reiterated the right for special and differential treatment. Okay, at the ministerial conference at Buenos Aires, India is half-hearted on raising the issue of special and differential treatment, because it may going to be a big issue, controversial issue, so it may stop other agreements, etc., discussions, etc. So India was not that much strong in raising special and differential treatment at the Buenos Aires Minister Conference. But this time around, India strongly demanded a special and differential treatment. Okay, for fishery subsidies, India would like to get flexibility and special and differential treatment as the country is providing subsidies to its poor fishermen. Okay, one O is missing. Sorry, for motorization, fuel rebates, etc. Okay, they are only subsidiary importance. Now, what is the update on this particular topic? Post Buenos Aires development, India proposed a threshold of GNAPAC limit. Okay, gross national income, per capita income. Okay, here you can see that India is demanding a per capita income threshold. Okay, up to that per capita income, countries can give subsidies. Okay, and here we are starting with the Chinese demand. China's ambassador to the WTO said that China wants special and differential treatment. They need special and differential treatment like India and African nations. and this is a curious demand, because China is almost developed. China is stealing the resources, the fisheries resources, their vessels are going far into the seas, and they say that they would like to get this special and differential treatment which are demanded by the poor fishermen from India as well as the fishermen from African nations. This is quite injustice. So the United States and other countries opposes this. India is distanced from Chinese claim for a special and differential treatment by proposing a threshold based on per capita income for getting exemption for fishing subsidy. Okay, this is a smart step by India. Okay, nice suggestion. It will be quite logical for other developing countries as well as from its acceptance angle. India's suggestion is that countries with a per capita, okay, gross national income of over 5,000 for 3 consecutive years may not be exempted from reduction commitments. So they should reduce what we can say the fishery subsidies. For example, in the case of China, their per capita income is 1,410 as per 2019 figures. Okay. On the other hand, India's per capita income is just 2,130. So China is beyond this level. Which level? 5,000 level. So they should reduce their fishery subsidy. That is India's demand. Okay, but disagreements remain over what defines overcapacity, and China has sought to present itself as a developing nation. All these are issues. Okay, so that is the backgrounder. Now we are going back to that newspaper. Okay, and here what is India's demand? India's demand is here. Okay, we have discussed that. Okay, now coming back to the next one, the e-commerce issue. What is the e-commerce issue? That also we will see through a note. Okay, and this is that note, and here the e-commerce provide more opportunities for trade. E-commerce is an important issue for developed countries. It is some sort of a new issue. Okay, so the developed countries always like to broaden the trade agenda by including new issues, and they brings new issues like what we can say the 21st century issues in the WTO trade rounds, and that happened in the Buenos Aires Ministerial Conference also. Several developed countries and a few developing countries, they together raised this e-commerce agenda, and they brought discussions on that. India opposes that. So what is the issue right now, and what will be the trending discussion in the future, that we are going to see right now. Okay, then what is electronic commerce according to WTO? That is a conceptual part. From the examination part side, you have to understand that the WTO work program, here also there is the concept of work program. So what is the meaning of work program? Work program is an existing agreement, maybe a temporary agreement that is going on. Okay, so that is under consideration of the WTO. Okay, there may be some limited agreements, ad hoc agreements, that is called work program. On work program in electronic commerce defines electronic commerce as the production, distribution, marketing, sale of or delivery of goods and service by electronic means. That is the definition of electronic commerce by WTO. And there is a work program on e-commerce in 1998, and the second ministerial conference adopted declaration of global electronic commerce. After that declaration, a work program on e-commerce was adopted in September 1998. How many years by? You can see even now it is continuing. So that is the background or status of e-commerce work program. You know that there is tremendous scope for trading e-commerce. E-commerce entities are there. So India doesn't have such big entities, but foreign countries have such entities. They have an edge here. So that is a real issue. A review of the work program and moratorium are expected at the 12th Ministerial Conference. We will see what is moratorium soon. Okay, till that, please have patience. Developing countries including India opposes the expansion of e-commerce agenda because of development issues. Okay, development concerns. Let me complete that. Okay, because developing countries are yet to develop to utilize these opportunities, because of that India and other countries doesn't like expansion of the e-commerce agenda beyond the present framework, and there is a moratorium in digital trade. That is an important thing from our examination point of view, and you should understand what is this moratorium and how it affects also. Perhaps if you are getting a online material electronic item from site like Alibaba, big subsidies, rather big customs duties are not there, and such similarly digital items also, for example plugins like that, they are also availed without much customs duty. So only because of already existing moratorium on digital trade, we are obliged to WTO as part of the existing work program that we should not impose customs duties on digital trade. That is the situation. Okay, now we are going to see an important component of the current e-commerce framework, okay, is that there is a moratorium regarding customs duties in e-commerce. Okay, now what is the moratorium? The WTO e-commerce moratorium, which bans countries from imposing customs duties on electronic transmission. It dates back to 1998. So that is a subject matter. There is a moratorium. Countries cannot impose customs duties on electronic transmission. Okay, the Buenos Aires MC decided to extend the moratorium till the 12th MC. That is the current status. That is very important from our examination point of view. Okay, this is the current status. This is the what we can subject matter of the dispute. This moratorium was originally set to last for 5 years, 95-99. But it has been extended a number of times since then in the absence of agreement by members on what the scope and modalities, because what should be the future course of action like that, in the absence of such agreements and consensus, this extension of this moratorium continued. The moratorium allowing information flows to remain duty-free facilitated dramatic expansion in the depth and breadth of digital. So it has created increase in digital trade. We are able to buy foreign products without paying customs duty, foreign digital product, mainly because of this moratorium. At the same time, it allowed capable countries to increase trade without attracting duties from the importing countries. So that is an issue. From our point of view, I think we can easily get into the idea. Okay, now e-commerce at Buenos Aires. The major issue of conflict Buenos Aires MC was the topic of e-commerce. Here the developed countries led by EU, Japan, Switzerland, etc. they tried to introduce more liberalization. Okay, they tried to expand the agenda. This is a new issue. This is a 21st century issue, an issue which is not suitable for developing countries to get any benefit. Okay, so developed countries try to expand the agenda. Okay, and more liberalization than the existing work program. There is a work program, a current modality regarding digital trade. They said that it has to be expanded. At the MC, the WTO had 4 areas to work with e-commerce. Future of the existing work program on e-commerce, moratorium. Okay, please look at this point, moratorium customs duties, what we should do on that. Okay, new negotiations on e-commerce. Okay, new agreements, new negotiations. Okay, broadening the agenda, setting a work program, work group on institutional structure. So such issues we are not concentrating. The advanced countries and some other developing countries, they supported e-commerce negotiations. Several of them viewed that a global rule for governance of e-commerce activities. Okay, governance of e-commerce activities needed. They argued that digital trade will benefit MSMEs. That was another side of their argument. They tried to link MSMEs with what we can say e-commerce. So that is what some sort of a sensitive issue for us, MSMEs. And India said that there is these two issues cannot be connected. And at the same time, several developing countries pointed out that liberalization in digital trade will backfire because of the digital divide between countries which are utilizing these opportunities and those which cannot utilize them. Okay, we can understand. These countries are mainly developing countries. Okay, experts from developing countries believe that developed countries have a very thick edge in the case of digital enterprise. Hence, because of this asymmetry, any decision can hurt the development interest of the poor countries. And India also opposed linking e-commerce with the MSMEs. Okay, that's the point we have already mentioned. And we are going to see the updates. Okay, India and South Africa, their communication to the WTO General Council argued that the moratorium on e-commerce is equivalent to developing countries, giving the digitally advanced countries duty-free access to markets. Okay, so this is the argument suggested by India. India is reasonably prepared this time around. Both India and South Africa, they provided communication to the WTO General Council recently. They said that actually when we are opening up the e-commerce sector, we are giving duty-free access to the product of the developed countries. So we are not getting any benefit. Okay, and jeopardize the achievement of the sustainable development goals. Okay, in March 2020, both circulated a communication to members of the WTO General Council arguing that the WTO moratorium on customs duties and electronic transmission has catastrophic impact on developing countries' economic growth, including tariff revenue loss, impact on industrialization, okay, So our industries will not grow. Impact on the use of digital technology, 3D printing, manufacturing, we are not discussing it right now. That is also a big issue. Employment and achievement of sustainable development goals. This is an important one. Tariff revenue, because we are not imposing customs duties, and because of that we are declined of what we can deprived of our customs duties. So that is the update, and we can see that there are other group of countries, the developed world, they support this the inclusion as well as the broadening of the discussion related to e-commerce. These countries are Australia, Canada, Chile, Colombia, Hong Kong, China, Iceland, Republic of Korea, New Zealand, etc. These countries says that actually other countries can benefit, developing countries can benefit from electronic transmission, e-commerce discussions, and as well as broadening of the e-commerce trade. Okay, so that is about the background information as well as the update on that, and the same thing has been discussed here. Okay, so that is about this particular topic. Okay, I hope that you have got some idea about this particular news. Okay, thanks for listening.